Now, joining me this morning to throw more light on that particular issue is Dr. Appollus Josiah. He is the head of department Paediatrics, River State University Teaching Hospital, and head of Haematology unit in the department. Just in case you are wondering if we had the right person. So let's get to say hello. Dr. Appollus, good morning to you.
Good morning, Jude. Good morning, everyone.
Yes, you have millions of people listening to us this morning, and it's a very controversial issue. But I'd like to thank you for, sticking your hand up and say, look, you are willing to have this conversation and shed more light about it.
You're welcome.
All right. So now, over the years in Nigeria, we've seen governments, successive governments, organizations, try to encourage people to join the blood donor drive. And today is a very important day. Today is February 14th. Something interesting usually happens this day. I'm going to give you the chance to tell the people what exactly this day connotes for you and why blood donation is important. So, Dr. Appollus, please go on.
Okay. Blood transfusion is such an important procedure or a gift that the World Health Organization in 2004 dedicated today, June 14th, which is the birthday of the person who first did a successful blood transfusion. Dedicated today to celebrate those who are involved in blood transfusion and to celebrate that gift, to appreciate people, and then the contribution of blood transfusion to the health and sustenance of life over the years. It is true, this is like 20 years of the celebrating those who donate blood to save others. So the theme for the year is 20 years of gift, of giving. Thank you, blood donors. We are thanking those who have willingly donated blood to save people. That is what we are doing here now.
Okay.
So blood, like many people will say, blood is life. Yes, blood is life, because the moment you lose all the blood in your body, you die. But people now misinterpret it to mean that, you don't take blood into this other person. So long as taking blood from this person does not kill the other person, I don't see anything wrong with giving the person a little of your blood to keep that person alive.
Okay, now...
so that's the point.
All right, so now I know a lot of Nigerians have been hearing about blood donation for a while, and it's very pleasing that at least some history has been shared. Thank you for doing that this morning. But there are a lot of myths and worries, concerns, about blood transfusion here in Nigeria, that a lot of people still hold on to, and they tell you that's why they will probably not do that. Now, chief amongst which, I beg your pardon, Dr. Josiah, has to do with the screening process. Now, last week when we had that conversation, I read a message from a listener who said, look, that he works within the medical field, but he's opposed to blood donation here in Nigeria because the screening process is not thorough. And so they only just check for malaria and maybe check for HIV and HPV. But those things have a shelf life, a latency period. And maybe that person might be tainted, but you don't know. And so because of that, he's very adverse, towards blood donation. Can you shed more light as to how you and your colleagues on the field try to make sure that only safe blood gets passed on to patients? Oh dear. Okay, all right. We are very sure we're going to get in touch with Dr. Josiah very shortly, but the phone lines will be opened again. But I want to start to get you to send in your questions. Remember, last week was a very heated debate here on the program. All right, so send your messages to 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. All right, once again, 0809 030 6416. That's where you find us on WhatsApp and on Telegram. And then you can, join the conversation on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. We'll be back after this break. The question I asked before we were interrupted.
Yes, I had the question about the concerns of blood donors or those who go to hospitals to screen for blood, or
Yes.
those who have their relatives needing blood and they are concerned about the screening.
Yes.
You see, it all depends on the place, the facility where you go to. There are different levels of sophistications of the screening method. There's the baseline screening method that you can screen somebody and then the person may be negative now, and then in the next 2 months also the person becomes positive. But there is a for the blood transfusion, for transfusion purposes, we screen the person with a method that is more sensitive and more specific, that identifies the people, so that it is very, very extremely rare for you to give blood to somebody and the person will turn positive later. It is extremely rare. But the new method that they are using, yes, in the past there are some methods that can give rooms for that. But when somebody is to donate blood, it's a different method that they use. It's more expensive, but that is what they go through to ensure that the blood.
Hello, Dr. Appollus. Hello. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Good morning. Hello. Oh dear. Once again being interrupted unfairly by the service provider. But anyway, so the first question, which was probably the most worrying question from last week, has been answered. All right, we're going to quickly reestablish contact with our guest. All right, and then we would get to your question. Some of you already started sending them. Please keep sending them. 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. That's where you find us. That's on WhatsApp and on Telegram. At Nigeriainfo is where we find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeriainfo PH. Don't forget, we are broadcasting live. All right, and we're streaming live, and so you can get to follow the conversation as we get on. But please don't call the WhatsApp number. Somebody just tried to call the WhatsApp number. Please don't call the WhatsApp number. All right, we just reserve that for receiving messages, please. All right, so 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. That's where you can send us your messages. All right, so we're trying to establish contact with our guest, and we'll get back to you, but get back to him, I beg your pardon, shortly. So now, I do know that pregnant women are usually, prime candidates for reception of blood, particularly when they're about to deliver, when they go into the labor room. It's a big, it's a good. Okay, all right. You were responding to this question, and you said this is much more, and it's probably on the bricks. If after the blood, you want to pay for the process?
Yeah, I would like two types of donors. As a family receive blood or rather you can say, I want to donate blood used freely on anybody.
Yes.
Nobody will charge you a dime for doing that.
Okay.
But if you say, I have my blood transfusion, I want to do it with that.
Okay. So we'll back at you. The challenge today is the World Blood Donor Day, where the world, WHO celebrates volunteer donors, like maybe some of you are listening to us at the moment. Now, some questions are definitely in this news, or rather in this space concerning blood donation and blood transfusion. My guest is Dr. Appollus Josiah. He's on the line. We're going to get to him right now, and we're taking your questions, on this subject matter. My name is Jude. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. Okay, all right. So, Dr. Josiah, good morning to you. Can you hear us now? Hello. Yes, Dr. Appollus. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes. Thank you very much for staying on the line. All right, Dr. Appollus, can you hear us? I have some questions for you from our listeners.
Hello?
Can you hear me? I have some questions for you. Hello? Can you hear us, please?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right, very well. Now, let me start by reading the first question here, and I will follow up with why it's important to be a donor. All right. Now, America Monday, right, from our Hoda sends this mail. It says, Jude, honestly, the blood screening process in Nigeria is so poor. Do you know that in 2004, my son was infused with infected hepatitis B during blood transfusion in the government hospital in Ahoda? I have decided never to pay for blood or receive donated blood anymore. Government should make laws that will help in curbing the menace of donating improper transfusion or non-thoroughly screened blood. So, did you hear that, sir?
Yes, I did.
So,
Okay. I don't know the place and the blood transfusion. It is possible. It is possible if they did not screen. But then it is important to ensure that before a person takes blood transfusion, that screening is done for the patients. Like before I take blood transfusion, I should be screened for hepatitis B, hepatitis C, HIV, to be sure that I don't have. So, but in case I am transfused with blood, tomorrow it will not be, if I come positive, it will be that before I do blood negative, but now it's positive, so because of the blood transfusion. But some people do not test themselves and they don't even test. Maybe some hospitals may not test the person before giving the person blood. So years after, when they attribute it to the blood transfusion, meanwhile it is possible that the person was only positive before transfusion. But that is not to say that it is not possible for mistakes to happen. Yes, but it depends on the situation. Like I don't know the place and the competence of the person who did the screening. So there's no need to give a blanket statements about the screening in every part of the state or part of the Nigeria. You may get a lab technician who is not qualified, or a lab assistant who is not qualified to do the test for you and give you blood to be aspect of the system. So the same thing for the lab scientists. Those of them who have PhD in doing this work, and then you expect that the outcome is the same thing. You just use the blanket results of the technician who did not or a lab assistant to now cover every bit that is needed in the office. There's not enough reason to do that. I sympathize with. Hello, Jude.
Yes, I will listen to you. Yes, it's good that
Okay.
you're sharing this information. Yes, it's very heart wrenching. I don't know how he's able to manage his son's health, but the most common, apart from the fear of the screening process, which a lot of people still don't believe, is thorough enough here, is the fact that there are religious nuances frown at blood transfusion. Last week, I don't know if you listened, somebody made comments that if you transfuse blood, that means you are taking somebody's life. What if the person has a bad spirit? People have claimed that they transfuse blood and then they started behaving abnormally. In your experience as a medical doctor, is there any research to prove that claim or that myth that people have, that notion?
Okay, dude, you see, I laugh. It is a myth. As it is. It is not that it's just false belief that people have about a process or a procedure that ordinarily saves lives. Many people are about this. They want to be more Pope than more Catholic than the Pope, or be more Jewish than the Jews. The recent war that is happening in Israel and Gaza the God of the Jews. And if you follow on social media on the information that we have available to us, blood donation is done on the battlefront. They are sending blood to the battlefront to transfuse people. So that when the Bible says do not eat blood, eating blood and transfusing blood are not the same thing. Eating blood is like, you catch an animal, like a live animal, and you are chewing and eating the blood of that person. That's true. It is not this one of blood transfusion. It's a misnomer. It's a wrong interpretation of the Bible that people come around. I know that there is a religious organization that particularly reaches this information, but you see, many of them have died, and many others who believe in this on nature of the wrong information that they give, and they will tell you that there are alternatives that are supposed to be given. My brother, this alternative does not work in every situation. Those things that they call alternatives, when the chiefs are down, tell them to bring the alternatives. Let us give. They don't even have that alternative. They tell you to look for the alternatives. Why don't the alternative that they tell you is infusion, things that look like what the plasma expanders. If
plasma, okay,
plasma expander is given to somebody who is waiting blood come, that you give to that individual, that helps to just make sure that blood, no matter how poor it is, get to the other tissues of the person, so that the person's system does not shut down. Those are plasma expanders for those who are in shock. For example, you give them to sustain life while you are waiting for blood to come. It is not something like somebody is bleeding, somebody is involved in an accident and is bleeding profusely, or like the example you gave last week about somebody who has a splenic rupture and the person is pouring blood in the abdomen, and then you say give expanders. When you give the expander is going to leak out as well as through the blood and still accumulate in the person's abdomen, and the person will die. You need to take out the spleen and then give the person the blood. That is what will save the person's life. It only takes somebody who is not experienced, confronting face with a bleeding woman who is just bleeding away like that to say that I cannot give blood, or blood is bad. The Israelites giving blood. Israelites, they are copying and transfusing every day. And so I understand in America, every 2 seconds, somebody needs blood. And then we are saying that, we are here, who copied the white men. We are now hammering on, we don't need blood. I think sometimes it's poverty. They don't have the money to pay, or they just want to be over religious. When those people die, they will go to hell. Not giving blood will not take you to heaven. There is no place in the scripture where that is that they are free at liberty to hold. As if another adult holds brief for a dying person and allow the person to die. The person did not have the ability or not. I think it is a grievous offense and should be punishable by the law of Nigeria.
All right, grievous offense.
It's not good.
Oh, okay. Now we're going to open the phone lines, Dr. Appollus. You probably won't hear them because you are on WhatsApp, all right, and our callers on the regular GSM lines. But I will be able to express their concerns or their views to you and get you to respond. And also, we'll continue to read messages on the WhatsApp, and there are a few of them that obviously I would like you to wade in. But we start with Lydia, all right? Lydia is on WhatsApp, all right? Lydia says, blood transfusion and eating are the same. The difference is that one is eating through the mouth and the other one is through transfusion. We must learn to stick to the instructions as God directed. Eat all the animals, but don't eat the blood. Of course, we are not allowed to eat humans, but if we're allowed, we must also not eat the blood because life is in the blood. What would you respond to Lydia, Dr. Appollus?
Jude, is very large. You see, documentation is so important in the process of even doing this blood transfusion. Do you know that people started with transfusing milk into individuals? They started because of food. They want to transfuse milk into the individual as a means of feeding the person. And there was serious adverse shortage milk and sheep and oil. There is an anti against it. So the attempt to use milk into individuals is so terrible and so bad that the people usually die at the end of the day. We are not talking about transfusing, giving somebody food.